This lesson is on dot plots and stem and leaf plots. So a dot plot and a stem and leaf plot, they both display numerical data, and below is an example of both a dot plot and a stem and leaf plot. So if we look at this one on the left, which is our dot plot, a couple of things to notice. Each dot, so we use dots, obviously, it's called a dot plot, to display each score that we have in our data. And we use a number line to display this. On the on the right is our stem and leaf plot. Now, some points for this one is that the stem shows the first digit or digits, depending on what the number is. So if it's just in our tens, it's just going to be a single digit. But if we go up into the hundreds or thousands, then that is going to then be 2 digits, or even if we have a decimal point. Now, the leaf is only ever 1 digit. Sorry, the last digit. So the leaf only ever has 1 digit in it. And our scores are usually shown in order. Sometimes you might need to put them in numerical order, and the reason we have to do that is because that helps a lot with finding our range, the mode, the median, and things like that. So we've got an example here saying a class was surveyed on the number of children in their family and the results are given below. So what we would do is we would draw our number line, and we're looking at, well, what's our highest number, what's our lowest number? So we can see here that our lowest is 1 and our highest is 7. So I need a number line that goes from at least 1 to 7. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw dots above that number line. Now, as you can see in the picture up here, each dot is evenly distanced apart. And you can see that all of those ones here are all in a line. And then the second dots are all in a line, and so on. And we need to be mindful when we do that, because that helps us to really identify and see where those trends might be and or how many there are in each of the numbers. So I've already drawn our one here. So you can see I've tried to keep my first line of dots all in a line, the second, third, and so on. So that's what that should look like once you've pulled all of that data. The next question says how many children were surveyed. And so what we're looking at there is you can count every dot, or you can count what you've got here. So if you go across, you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. There were 20 students surveyed. Then it asks us to comment on any clusters or outliers. Now, a cluster is a group of dots that are all together, and an outlier is one that doesn't sit with the rest of the data. So we could say that this clusters around 1 to 3 children, and there is an outlier at 7. And that's all we really need to write for that question there. Now, if you turn the page, we'll go on to our stem and leaf. So this stem and leaf plot shows the exam results of a class of 20 students, and the exam was out of 50 marks. So you can see here the stem contains 1 number, which is our first digit, and our leaf also contains 1 number in this instance, which is that last digit. So how many students are in the class? Well, we can look at our question. So there are 20 students. Or if the question doesn't say that, we count every number that is in our leaf. And if we were to count those through, we're going to get 20. What is the highest mark? Now, with a stem and leaf plot, as we stated before, they should be in order. So our highest mark is going to be the one at the bottom, which is read as 50. The most common mark, so that's our mark that appears the most often, and we can always have no common mark. It might be that every number is only there once. It might be you have 2 or 3, and that is also okay. Please don't look at it and think, okay, well, I think the most common number there is 2 because 2 is there that often. You're reading these numbers as 22, 26, 32, 32. So we're looking for the one that appears the most in that instance. And we have 32 and 37 because there are 32 and 32, 37 and 37. The last question here says, what percentage of students scored over 25? So thinking that a percentage is out of 100, we look at where over 25 is. And if we look here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So the 17 out of our 20 students, and I want a percentage, so therefore I'm multiplying by 100, and that is going to give us 85%.